people of the Bay. It is We the People Real Estate Podcast here. Your man, Carlos Rojas, real estate agent in the Tampa Bay area and licensed in all of Florida. If you want to sell your house, make sure to hit me up. The number is in the description. I'm here with Brad from Greenleaf Title.
On, guys?
And hey, yeah, it's a substitute for Frank here. Brad is going to be joining us from now on here in the We the People podcast. So I wanted to welcome him in here. Guys, today we'll be talking about rates as always. Yes, you heard it right on the title. We got a new drop. We also have an update for the NAR case. U.S. credit card rate hits an all-time high. So we're gonna look into some charts that show how high our credit card debt is for us Americans, and maybe something that we could do, especially with those homeowners, to get out of those tough situations. Hunter Biden is guilty. Surprise, surprise. Not really.
That was gonna happen.
We're gonna talk about that a little bit. And we also got a little bit of talk about the Rays Stadium. It seems like they're going to be voting this week on that.
Yeah, I think today, actually.
All right, today.
So Thursday when we're recording this.
So we'll see the results next week, but we'll talk a little bit about the Rays Stadium situation here in the We the People podcast. Let's go ahead and begin. What's going on, everybody? This is We the People, a real estate podcast. Let's begin. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the rates. We are at 7.49%. Last week, we were a little bit higher. We were in the 7.5s, according to Google. Now, may I remind everybody, I know if Frank was here, he would say this. We can get you a lower rate. We can definitely work out a lower rate for you. So if you're looking to buy a house this summer, which, by the way, real estate is, I know Florida's hot.
Hey, but the market's on fire right
The market
now,
is hot right now.
It's starting to get hot again. I'm loving to see it.
Yeah.
Deals are starting to close.
This is the best time to be a realtor right now. The summertime, people are moving. Everybody's making some moves, and it looks like, at least myself, I'm picking up a lot. So looking forward to it. And yeah, in terms of the rates, I would expect them to keep gradually going down as the elections keep going. What do you think about that, Brett?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think obviously the closer we get to the election, I think rates will go down a little bit. I don't think they're going to jump way down, but I'm hoping they go down, right? Because it's great for us. But
it is great for us, but just as a precedent, I'm like, you're not going to bring the rates down, and as you go towards voting day, I don't think that's a good strategy.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is, it's still marry the house, date the rate.
That's right.
It's still marry the house, date the rate. It's okay to have, you can negotiate more with these higher rates right now. So, even though, you're not getting the rates you're getting 3 years ago, you don't want to look at it that way. Think of the positive too, because once rates do come down, there's going to be so many offers, multiple offers that you're going to have to be paying over prices. And when rates go down, prices go up. So just because the rates are up a little bit, it does not mean it's not a great time to buy. Right. And, and we're going to talk about credit card debt a little bit, but it might not be the worst time to refinance either. If you are in credit card debt, if it makes sense. Right. There's a lot of factors going into that.
Right. We want to get right into that. So the credit card debt, guys. So, we were looking at the debt chart here. And, well, first off, let's look at the news. Credit card debt increased by $50 billion. In the fourth quarter of 2023, Americans' credit card balances climbed to a new record high, $1.13 trillion. Guys, this is crazy. This is definitely a lot. And I would say I feel it. With the people around me, I feel some of that happening with some of the clients that I have and stuff like that. People are still figuring out ways to buy, but debt is a problem in this country. As we look at this chart right here, back in this goes back all the way to 2004. We can see the spike up. The first spike that you see there is 2008. After that, we did see a decrease all the way through 2014. 2016, it started climbing slowly. Americans are known for spending. In 2020 and 2021, there was some people decided to make sure they pay off their debt. And then now, as we enter the 2024, we are way higher than what we should be, where our balance should be, which is somewhere around the middle here. But yeah, a lot. One thing that I do want to talk about, because I know that this is a problem for a lot of Americans right now, and I think as we were preparing for this program, you mentioned that some people are starting to refinance to take care of some of that debt, and it's not a bad idea. If you think about it, sometimes this debt gets so high, some of these rates are up in the 20s for credit card debt. And then if you refinance and you're able to pay all of that off, your monthly payment, let's say it's $1,000 more because you decided to cash out a big amount so that you could take care of that debt, or maybe you want some more of that cash. $1,000 a month is a lot better than having 3 or 4 max credit cards that are charging you maybe $2,000 every single month. So it gives you a little bit of relief. You get some money back. I don't know what that is.
It started playing the podcast intro there. I don't know what. I wonder if anybody else can hear that.
Is that
my?
I think it's my phone.
Oh, it's your phone.
Yeah.
There we go. Look at that. Little technical difficulties there, guys. We're all good.
Well, yeah,
we were wondering what that was because that was like already showing.
This is what happens when you go live.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm like, what's going on? Who got a ghost phone around here?
All right. So back to what you were saying.
So basically, I think it's a really, it's a really good strategy for people that are in debt. Obviously, I think, Dave Ramsey hits it really well. Like, don't be in debt. Debt is not good. It's like being chained.
Yeah.
I would say if your if money has a hold on you, that's a problem. We gotta fix that. So the best thing to do is to get a hold of your money. I think attacking debt is very important, to go by small portions, take care of the little credit cards first. That way you get rid of all that small debt, and then it'll feel like just one more that you have to take on as they get bigger or whatever. But if you are in a place where you're a homeowner and you have a chance to refinance and maybe just completely get out of debt, that might be something that you want to look into. So
100%. Yeah. So, and obviously I like refinances because I am a title guy. So I'm with Greenleaf Title. So whenever you do refinance, you can use Greenleaf Title. You can tell your mortgage company, hey, I want to close a Greenleaf Title. So, and it's just the same way in real estate too. If you're selling your house, you can recommend title to your realtor as well. And, a lot of people don't realize that the seller or the borrower actually picks title. So a lot of times just the realtor or mortgage person is connected with a title company, and they're usually just like, hey, I usually close with this person. Yeah. Which obviously I close deals with Frank, and be closing some deals with Carlos. So, we all can work together as a team. So, definitely get with Frank if you're looking into refinancing. And if you have any questions, you can also reach out to me.
Yeah, Brad, so let me ask you a question about that, because I don't deal with refinances too much. I mean, people call me, and I just refer them to, a lender or Frank, et cetera, to make sure that things, that they handle that.
Yeah.
So what exactly is Title's role when it comes to the refinance? Is it, because I know that, the name typically stays the same unless they want to switch ownerships?
Yeah, you still have to do a title search and everything like that. So, if there's a survey.
Yeah, because they need to, in order to get approved for the refinance, you got to make sure title is still clean, right?
Yeah. So that's why you go through the title company when you're refining. So, it's just kind of like when you're selling, you got to go through title and stuff like that. Yeah. So, I personally, it's kind of funny because like we don't make as much on the refis, but I like the refis because they're less stressful deals because it's not as much of an emotional process as selling your house. Right?
It's more of let's get it done. We have to do it.
They can stay in the house. Sometimes they're saving money, stuff like that. So, personally, I like the refis a lot. I like any deals, but the refis are pretty easy. So, especially when rates come down a lot more and we really get into a refi boom, and everybody that bought at 8 and 7% interest rates are all going to be refinancing. Yeah, that's going to be a really good market for me. And I love it. And in my business, it's all about just, people knowing that we can communicate. Yeah. Communication is key. Knowing that you can pick up the phone. If there's a problem, we're going to solve it. So, I think that's a huge part of it, and I love it. I have fun with what I'm doing, and it's pretty boring business, but I make it fun.
You better, right? Here, we just, let's switch it over to the NAR case. You guys may already be aware. The NAR situation is it's kind of like a big trending topic right now for a lot of agents. And there's a new poll that shows, they did a new poll among agents, and 70% of agents are against this, though 61%, I believe, of the population are actually for this. So let's go ahead and take a reading here. So 70% of real estate agents oppose NAR settlement charges, although the general public, about 67% support the upcoming changes to real estate commissions. So obviously, no realtor is going to say, I don't want to get paid. So yeah, agents are going to be against this 100%. I don't know why it's even 70. It should be in the 90s, in my opinion. I don't know what agent is for this. I think that this, levels the playing field in certain ways, but for the most part, it's bad not to give a buyer's commission, because who are you gonna have represent you? And I know some people out there don't need a real estate agent or a buyer's agent. I get that, but right now you have the option to negotiate that commission if you represent yourself. If you think about it, I know it's happened to me, right? I'm a listing agent, and all of a sudden, somebody comes to me, they see my sign, they call my sign, and hey, I don't have an agent. Can you maybe give me a credit for closing for not having an agent? Like, there's clients that do this. This is what they do. Mm-hmm. So in this case, there is no commission to be dealt with. There isn't as much gap as there used to be. Cutting off the buyer's agent for the people that truly need one, it's not that great. There will be buyers out there. There's talk about buyers out there that will push towards houses that are providing a commission. So it's a little bit strange. There's a little bit of change. I don't think personally much will change. Houses still got to sell, right?
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that, there's actually not going to be as much change as people think. I mean, obviously everything new is scary for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm for this at all. I mean, I don't think, I think it's kind of stupid, but I think that, agents are going to adapt and change, and the ones that really just adapt, I mean, really, I think it's really just going to hurt the part-time realtors, right? Yeah. I think it's going to hurt the realtors that don't feel like they offer a lot of value, right? And this is advice that I would give to any real estate agent out there, is you have to believe in yourself and believe that you are valuable. And if you believe that you're valuable, and that your seller or your buyer is going to see that, right? And they're going to be willing to pay you because you are offering them value. You're showing them what you can do, right? So I think that that's going to be the way to navigate this and get through this, because I always look at solutions, not the problems all the time, right? We got to know the problem to get the solution. But I mean, like I said, I don't think it's really necessary. But how are you going to get through this? Because they can still pay the buyer's agent commission. You just got to get them to see why they should pay you.
Yeah.
So I think if you're sitting here and you're a real estate agent and you're worried about the whole NAR settlement, is think, how can I add value to my client so that they will pay me whatever I ask them to, because they know that I'm going to work harder than any other agent, and I'm going to be the most valuable person to work with on this transaction. So
I do think I agree with that 100%. I do think that sellers out there, they still, they want to know what is the normal charge, because if an agent is asking for 10%, that's a lot, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's definitely like a fine line of what is the average, what is it that people charge, right? So when I present on my listing presentations, I always say I charge this much, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a number that I stick to no matter what. But is it, adjustable depending on the situation, depending on the client? Yeah, absolutely. I would say so. I mean, some houses are not gonna sell the same way. Some houses are not gonna be as easy. Some houses do not require the same amount of work out of me to do so. But every house needs some buyer. And that buyer typically, most likely, will come represented by somebody that we should be offering a commission to. 100%. And in this case, we're not, if we're not going to be offering that commission, if we have sellers out there that don't want to offer anything at all, and we can't disclose it, what changes can it cause? Well, NAR says that this whole settlement eliminates steering, plaintiff issue warning. So basically, they're saying that steering of agents are not, it's not going to happen anymore. So we used to offer 3%, 2%, 1% for the buyer's agent to bring somebody. And did that, create some type of steering? Maybe some agents out there were steering a little bit. I don't know that everybody's perfect, obviously, but I know I wasn't. To me, like, hey, you want that house? I don't care that it's 1%. I'm more about, let's just get to the next one. I'm more about the next client. I'm not gonna worry about whether one is 1% or 3%, because they're all different. And buyers nowadays, they're on Zillow. They're everywhere looking at things. Like, I can't hope that the house that works out is the one that I brought in. It's just, it's not going to be that way. So I think it's important to understand that this might actually be the other way around. So, I agree with you. Yeah. And what I mean is that we're going to have buyers out there that love their agents so much, and this is so true, that they might not do anything with you unless you are offering the buyer's agent a commission. Like, that's a thought too. I know a lot of people don't think about that. A lot of people don't think, oh, you know, people don't want the buyer's agent or whatever. But there's actually, I've worked with a lot of buyers, and they do respect honesty, integrity, making sure that you teach them everything properly. So I have a feeling that this will affect those type of buyers the most. So
yeah, I agree with you, and I think that, you know, you're right. I mean, steering does happen, right? You know, and I think that, you know, you're going to want, I really think that exactly what you were just saying, though, is that it's going to be more attractive for a buyer's agent to get paid on a deal. Like, if you're a seller, you want to offer that buyer's agent commission, because it's going to help get your listing sold.
Right.
You know,
that's the main reason why we want that. Exactly.
And I think that's still going to be happening. I think it's going to be fine. You know, I just think that, I mean, I really think it was an unnecessary change, you know, but because it's changing, I think people just have to be educated on how to navigate through it. And, you know, just
very
make sure,
unnecessary, just specific contracts, right? So if you focus on a contract, we made an offer. Do you accept it? Yes or no? And then after accepting the offer, with the buyer's agent commission and everything including on it, this sellers decided to do this whole lawsuit to remove the system of real estate, when they could have just said no to the contract to begin with. Yeah. They didn't have to say yes to that.
You know, why fix something if it's not broke, right? Yeah. I think, you know, because real estate's been done the same way.
I feel like this is, I really do think that this is bigger than what we can see, because that sounds so simple. I do feel like the government is involved somehow. The DOJ is involved. I have a feeling that this is something that's bigger than what we are actually being shown. It's just something about it feels so wrong, and so like why are we even doing this? You know, every agent was worried about AI. AI is going to take over us. You know, somebody like, there's not going to be any more agents needed. Back when Zillow started coming out, oh, we're not going to need agents anymore. People can just buy their houses online. No, you need an agent to advise you. You need an agent to look at every angle of the house, give you tips on inspection, negotiate for you, negotiate hard to make sure that they get you a better deal, get you closing costs, make sure that the title company that you selected as a client, it's actually a reputable one that your real estate agent can back up. Or, you know, maybe you have one because you already know them. But if you don't know, you don't know. What about the inspector? What inspector are you going to hire? Somebody I just found online, or a reputable one that, you know, agents are using to make sure that things, you know, are dealt with correctly? Because through the transaction, a lot of things can happen. So there's a lot that goes into a transaction. To remove the agent completely, you would need a special type of robot that has emotions. It's smarter than AI. I would tell you, like I'm telling you right now, being a real estate agent is not an easy task. No. I would tell you it's a fun career. There's unlimited money. You could build a team. You could do so many great things. But replacing an agent is going to be extremely hard. And this is, in a lot of ways, trying to replace buyer's agents with nothing. And I don't know how you can possibly do that. I love listings. I focus on listings the most. That's my main marketing focus. I do help buyers, but for the most part, the hardest thing that I can do as an agent is help a buyer. Helping a buyer is not easy, and offering to not pay buyer's agent is it's just not the way to go. I mean, there's buyers out there that I showed over 20 houses to, 30 houses. I mean, buyer's agents are essential to this business. Mm-hmm. Removing their pay is not the way to go. I think this is a big mistake for the United States, for we, the people. And at the end of the day, whatever that money is that you were going to pay the buyer's agent, you will lose it somewhere else. The sellers are going to lose that money somewhere else. Either you're going to pay double the commission that you should to that listing agent that, you know, might trick you into paying more than what it actually costs, or you're going to lose it in the negotiating, because now your house value, it's going to be worth a little bit more because you don't have the buyer's agent. But what if the buyers don't want to pay that difference because they know that they don't have a buyer's agent? So they're going to want to negotiate down even more. So that amount of money that, you know, these people think they're saving, it's going to be worse. This is going to get stupid. A lot of agents are going to not have jobs anymore. It's going to be better for me personally. I'm telling you right now, it's just going to cleanse the real estate system. But I don't think it's worth it, and I don't think it should have happened at all. I think buyer's agents are way important, and this should have never happened, like you stated.
100%. But I think we're going to still figure out a way to win no matter what happens. So and I think there's going to be ways that adjustments will be made, and I think everything's going to be fine. So don't freak out about it.
I also think that this is temporarily. I don't think that this is something that's going to last too long. I say max 5 years or something like that, but eventually something's going to happen where, I mean, think about people just like, imagine 30 to 40% of buyers out there just not buying at all because they have no idea what they're doing. They don't have an agent that they can hire because they're not offering buyer's commission. And all of a sudden they have to deal with this, agents that are only representing the sellers 100%, and the quality of representation on the other side just sucks. So imagine how many people that are normal buyers are going to be like, you know what? This house thing is not for me. I don't think I want to buy a house. I'm going to keep renting. And all of a sudden we lost a big percentage of buyers that would have bought if they had a trustee buyer's agent alongside, so it's going to change a few things, but yeah. Getting out of our real estate stuff, let's go ahead and talk politics here, guys. A big one. I did this one in my last podcast, and I had somebody come in there and started just screaming at us through the comments saying that we're indicting, what's it called? Inciting fear when you're trying to scare people. Yeah, listen up, people. I'm about to put the news organization that delivered this message. I believe it was CNBC, CBS. I don't know, CBS Morning. You'll see it right now. This is not us inciting any fear. This is real. This is happening in my country of Cuba right now, which is a few miles away from the United States. And this is really happening. And not enough people are talking about it. I asked Brad if he knew about it. He didn't know. This is a problem.
I had no idea until Carlos brought it up.
You should know, and you should be aware, because especially if you live here in Florida. I mean, tell me what you guys would think about this in the comment section, and Brad, we'll discuss this a little bit. Let's take a look at the news.
Russia is flexing its military muscles in Cuba, just 90 miles from Florida.
Mornings.
A Russian nuclear submarine and 3 other ships entered Havana Harbor yesterday to conduct military exercises. It was really hard not to think of the Cuban Missile Crisis that brought the U.S. and Russia to the brink of war back in 1962 when we saw these headlines. David Martin is tracking the maneuvers and the U.S. response.
A surface warship and a nuclear-powered submarine arrived in Havana to a 21-gun salute, beginning what the U.S. expects to be the largest Russian military exercises in the Caribbean in 5 years. U.S. officials say the exercises will also include flights by Russian long-range bombers along the East Coast.
It certainly wouldn't come as a surprise to us if we see more activity around the United States.
The 4-ship Russian flotilla has already passed just 30 miles.
30 miles from Miami. It went right through there. Tell me that, I don't know about you guys, but, if I'm the United States, this is more of a, flexing type muscles. Hey, look at what I'm doing right next to your country. I'm bringing my chips all around.
The coast of Florida as it made its way down from the North Atlantic to the Caribbean. The warship has been used in the past to test fire one of Russia's newest hypersonic missiles. The submarine is also designed to carry guided missiles, but U.S. officials say there is no indication it is carrying nuclear weapons.
We, of course, take it seriously, but these exercises don't pose a threat to the United States.
The Russian ships have...
What do you think about her saying that right there real quick?
It's hard to say, right? Because, Russia could be a threat. I think that, the U.S., I think we have better weapons than them if anything really did happen. But... I would definitely be aware of it. If they're so close to the U.S. right here, they're close to Florida, right?
Yeah. Been shadowed by a small U.S. Navy task force consisting of 2 destroyers along with 2 vessels specifically fitted with sonar for tracking submarines, patrol planes, even sail drones. The Russians are expected to remain in Havana until next week before they get underway again, perhaps for Venezuela. When they do, officials say the Navy will start shadowing them again. For CBS Mornings, I'm David Martin at the Pentagon.
Yeah, I think this is scary, man. I think Russia's flexing. I think they're letting us know, look at what we're doing right next to your coast. We got connections over here in Cuba. We could do whatever we want over here. And they're flexing their muscles. And let me tell you, we got a better military, for sure, #1 in the world. Nobody messing with us. I agree with that 100%. But I am concerned with our leadership. I'm concerned with the moves that the military has made lately. With the type of commercials that they've done. I don't know. I don't think a transgender commercial or a gay commercial for the military makes us look any tough at all. And that's some of the things that they've been promoting compared to the Russian commercials. I mean, they look tough. Our leadership, I think needs to step it up, make us look a little bit tougher in terms of. I just feel like if Trump was president, let me just put it this way.
Yeah, I agree.
That would not be happening.
It definitely would.
And nobody coming around our waters and doing any of that. And I think this lady saying that, she's saying that, this is not a threat, blah, 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 whatever. But in reality, lady, I don't know that you know what you're talking about. Russia may not do anything, but the fact that they're flexing on us so close to elections too, it's a little bit scary.
Should be a wake-up call, though, if, elections are coming up. And we all know this wouldn't happen under Trump, right? We know that, they know that Biden's weak. They know that we have weak leadership right now. So they can try us a little bit. They can do things that, and right there, obviously they're in Cuba, but they're close, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that they're definitely trying to happen there, but it is a concern. And I think it should be a wake-up call to make sure you vote for Trump in November.
Yeah, I think a lot of things that are happening right now are wake-up calls to vote for Trump. I mean, if we're
100%.
talking about any news that comes out of Biden right now has to do with, dementia, or he doesn't know how to dance or can't dance or is frozen, or there's a new trend going on out there, the Biden where people are pretending to sit down and they just stay still. I mean, there's TikTokers doing this like it's embarrassing. I don't want to be laughing at our president. It doesn't feel good to be laughing at our president in today's times. You know what I'm saying? Like, if everything was great and our president was acting like this, and I thought, you know what, like, at least we're good. Everything's good.
Yeah.
But the temperature that this country feels at right now, the struggles that it's going through, the depth that it's at, all the things that are happening that seem to be created to divide us. It's not a moment where I want to be laughing at our president or anything like that. And if so it happens that a World War III will start, does the president get to stay in presidency? Do the elections get, eliminated?
I'm not 100% sure, but that's an interesting.
I remember in high school learning about if a war starts, if a World War starts, basically they push back the voting system or whatever, so the president can stay on.
I hope that's not true, because that
would be really scary. I'm just saying, like, I do not want to go to war with this president. You'll be having to go to the military on a draft. I'll be having to go to the military on the draft. I'll be like, my back really hurts. Can we please check this out? Because I don't think I can do this.
I got bad eyes, I got a couple ARs at home. Hey, I'll be all right.
Not taking anything away from our military men and women. We respect you guys so much, and we love you guys for everything you've done and fighting for our freedom. I have an issue fighting for this country outside of this country. Like, I feel like if the Russians are coming here, yeah, I'll defend this country all day. But when it comes to like going to Afghanistan to fight in Afghanistan,
yeah, like
I have an issue with that. I don't think our soldiers should be used that way. I think, our soldiers in Ukraine, big no-no for me. Israel, anything like that. Like, let those countries fight their own battles, especially when we're struggling in our country right now with the things that are going on right now. America first, right?
America first. Trump says it all the time.
Yeah.
Let's reelect the guy.
Yeah. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and get into this Hunter Biden laptop thing. So the Hunter Biden laptop, could it have changed the course of the election, do you think? Would it have taken votes away?
I think that, it'll take some votes away for the people that are brainwashed by the media. But I think that most of us already kind of knew what was going on with Hunter Biden.
I knew. This is not a surprise.
I actually saw what was on the laptop a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So we had somebody come with a bunch of the documents from the laptop, the young Republicans, and actually got to see different things that Hunter Biden had and some of the messages he was sending and stuff
Are you
like
able
that.
to share anything?
I don't even remember. I mean, the funniest, they're like one of the craziest things is there's a picture of Hunter Biden without clothes on, which I did not want to see that. I looked away. I did not want to see that. But
I've seen that picture. They already posted that everywhere. They just cover his butt.
but there was like there was just a bunch of text messages and I think part of it, they did say something about like the money, the big man got the money or something, and the big man was Biden.
Yeah.
So, Biden's definitely involved. So I think that's part of it. And they're covering that up and stuff like that. But I don't think it really changes anything. I mean, I just think that it's getting better for Trump every day and worse for Biden.
Because this is something. Okay, so we have here count one, false statement, material to firearm sale. So he falsified documents. False statement in firearms transaction record, possession of a firearm by drug user or drug addict. So he lied on that as well. So I think that first off, Joe Biden said my son is innocent. There's nothing like before the elections, there was proof that he said a bunch of things on this case, and everything's backfiring right now. Not that you didn't know he was a liar, but here's more evidence.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I like Trump, man. He seems different lately. He's very down to earth. It seems he's more calm.
He's been doing a lot of interviews, like we were talking about.
Right,
I mean,
he's
just doing
doing
with Logan Paul right before.
Yeah,
we did this
Logan
today.
Paul. Who gives Logan Paul an interview? Like, what politician gives Logan Paul an interview?
Dr.
Like,
Phil.
Dr. Phil, Logan
out
Paul,
there.
the guy from ESPN as well. I want to see him with Patrick Bet-David. I really want to see that. Trump with Patrick Bet-David. He asked the right questions. I like to see that.
I love Patrick Bet-David, man.
But it's interesting. I mean, I want to see Biden do some interviews.
He won't.
Not with somebody from the left, but maybe somebody from the right. I know Trump has done interviews with CNN with everybody.
You think Biden's going to debate Trump? I know it's supposed to happen at the end of the month, but do you think it's going to happen?
He said he would. Do I think it's going to happen? Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I think so.
I wasn't that confident, but yeah.
Well, I don't want to say I'm 100% sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I would love to see it, but I don't know if Biden's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think he will because, I mean, that happens with the president, and they've done it before. But I think he's going to try to make a lot of rules up there. And I can't wait for it. I mean, we'll definitely be talking about this on the show, and I'm excited about it.
Do you think everything's going to be exactly the same way it is right now? Do you think that nothing is going to change for the Democrats? You think they're just going to put Biden and it's going to be Biden?
I think they are going to put Biden in because I just don't see them making another change that's last minute like that.
Yeah.
And but see, I think it's the worst move for them. Like I said that, and like obviously I've been a Trump supporter since I've ever been involved in politics, right?
Yeah.
Like I've followed Trump forever. I'm one of the few people that actually like Trump as a person, right? I mean, not everyone likes Trump as a person.
Yeah, I do.
But I do, and I've always supported him. But I've always said the Democrats need somebody stronger, and I said if they even have a chance, they need somebody strong, and they don't have anybody that's stronger right now. So
they were talking about Michelle Obama. What do you think that would do? What do you think?
I mean, I think if Michael ran,
if they do, if they do Michelle Obama and Newsom, do you think that's better than Biden right now, in your opinion, for the Democrats?
Yeah, I mean, I've joked said that like Obama's really running the country right now, But I think that would have been a better ticket for them than Biden and Kamala, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Biden and Kamala are like the most disliked president and vice president ever. Right?
They might be the most disliked people in the world right now.
I think so too. Exactly. So I don't think. I mean, I don't know who's in charge of that, right? But I mean, I think they could have at least picked a couple better Democrats, right? Like, I was saying in the last election that they should have picked Mark Cuban to run against Trump, but I don't think he would have, because I think he was like a businessman that was but he was too, I don't even know for the Democrats. I mean, he probably shouldn't have ran, and I wouldn't have wanted him to. I've read his books, and I like him, but
I do like Mark Cuban. I don't like that he chooses the Democratic side, but everybody.
He makes no sense with that, by the way, because he's like a capitalist Democrat, which is like Mark Cuban makes no sense. But what I'm getting at, I felt like there is definitely better candidates on the and they're not. I mean, a lot of them really aren't great people. They're people that we wouldn't want running our country because they would do a lot of the same things that Biden's doing, right? But I'm just saying, I can't believe that Biden is the only person that they could come up with to run against Trump, because I think that there's people that weren't supporting Trump that are going to support Trump now.
Yeah,
you know, and it's good to ask people because I mean, I'm a Trump guy. I will always support him. I like what he's doing, you know. But it is interesting because when I have conversations with people that don't necessarily like Trump, but they like him better than Biden. So I think that's definitely going to help. And you know, I think even the him being guilty, right? Which I hope he appeals, and I hope that we see that was all, you know, rigged. It was all rigged. It was all rigged. I can do a good Trump impersonation. You know, but I think that we're going to see that. And I think that did nothing but help Trump. I think that people that are kind of in between of who they were going to vote for, that like if they can do this to this president, they can do anything to us.
Yeah.
So I think that it's actually going to be a positive for Trump, and I think he's going to win big. So you know, I think I think that the stuff that happened with Hunter Biden is crazy, but we saw it coming. You know, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just something to talk about until we get to the next thing.
Yeah. What scares me the most about Trump getting arrested is just the headline.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are very short-minded. They only read the headline and they don't read into the case. If you read into the case, if you do any type of studies on the case, you will realize that what Trump has done is nothing illegal, nothing wrong. He did all the right moves that any president has done with those type of cases, those type of scenarios. You also know that presidents through history have committed crimes, big war crimes, like killing a bunch of people that they probably shouldn't have or that they could have prevented killing. And Trump is one of the only presidents that, you know, as scary as he was, he brought peace to the world. There was no wars going on. Everybody was being profitable. Everybody was being successful in business. Gas prices were all-time low. You didn't spend, you know, what I'm spending right now, like almost $300 every time I go weekly to the grocery store. I mean, it's ridiculous the way the lives that Americans are living right now. And it's hard. It's not easy for us Americans to survive this situation that's going on right now. Reminds me of Cuba. In Cuba, you have to fight every day for the food that you're going to put in your fridge. Right now, we're still able to breathe a little bit and survive a little bit. But, you know, sooner than later, if we're having to think about the gallon of milk that we're buying, that's affecting every single pocket of ours. Yeah. So until, you know, when is it going to become something so important that everybody better take action and notice? I think the best thing that we can tell Trump supporters is find another voter. Find somebody that will vote. It's very important that if you take this seriously, it's not just about yelling out, yeah, Trump's the right choice, and yeah, I'm a Trumpist, and I like Trump, and blah, blah, and this and that. No, it's about like having hard conversations with some people on the left, some of these younger people that don't even care about voting or whatever, and getting to them with the message of why Trump is the right candidate this year and how he can make our country better. I mean, we could talk about so many things. It could be such an easy conversation. Like if you're talking to anybody young, hey, what are your chances of buying a house right now? Because I know they're very hard. I bought my first house when I was 21 years old. And that's, you know, back in 2013. I do not see anybody that had my same life able to do that again. Like with the prices and the way things are right now, the rates, it's just impossible. Like you will have to be making twice as much almost as of what I was making when I was 21 years old in order to be able to buy a house. So just that topic alone can lead you into a great conversation about Trump and the economy of this country. What else? Let's talk about God. Let's talk about Jesus. Let's talk about how they've removed God from this country. Trump truly seems to be following the word way better than anybody else, than the other side as of right now, who's trying to remove God from the country or from schools and all of this. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, how can we remove God and apply things that are indoctrinations to our children? Like, that makes no sense. I mean, I was having a conversation with you. I'm mad at the fact that I have to talk to my 6-year-old about, you know, an episode that he saw where two boys were kissing. Why do I need to talk about sexuality with my 2-year-old? Yeah. That's ridiculous. Why are we doing this? What are we doing, America? That like are we seriously putting parents in positions where they need to talk to their kids about their sexuality and how they look at others and what this LGBT flag means and this over here, the race stadium and you know, CMP full of flags, using our taxpayer monies to fill out everything with LGBT this. Like, why are we parading this? Are we supposed to parade? You know, can I parade the fact that I like women? Can I parade the fact that I like my wife? Is there a flag for that? Can I put it everywhere? Like, that's something internal. Like, we can, if somebody wants to be gay or lesbian or whatever the heck they want to be with their sexuality, that's their choice, and it's none of my business. It's none of anybody else's business. It's not a society problem. Like, we live in a free country. You can come out and be gay. You can come out and be whatever you want. You don't have to believe in God. That's the beauty of this country. Just like God does, right? We're creating. We're created. You don't have to believe in me, but I will give you the choice to find out about the Bible, and I'll give you the choice to believe in me if you want to. That is such a beautiful thing from our Creator, right? Yeah. So you got people that believe, people that don't believe, people that try other religions. Great. Like, that's how it should be. We should have choices to do whatever we want with them. Why am I being forced to see them in these things? Why am I being forced to have these conversations with my children? I don't want to have them. I don't want to do it. I've canceled my Bally Sports app. I'm not going to the Rays Stadium. I love baseball. I'm Cuban. I love baseball so much. Yandy Diaz was one of my favorite players. He's over here, putting the rainbow in his bicep. You know what? Like, F Yandy Diaz for doing that. I don't want to have that conversation with my children. And that's the main reason. I don't hate anybody. I don't like having conversations that I don't need to with a child that is less than 10 years old, less than 14 years old, 13 years old. Like, can we just move it so that it's, rated R or rated maybe PG-13 or something? That way we can get it completely away from the children. I mean, I'm deleting my Netflix account. I'm deleting my Disney account. This is hard, man. As a parent, yeah. It's so crazy. My dad did so much so that I didn't have to struggle as a parent. And it has nothing to do with what I'm going through right now. It's a different struggle. It's like my dad fought for,
we got some puppies in the studio. Look at this.
What's going on here?
I like it.
Look at this.
How do we got here?
Interruption.
We got like 6?
Interruption.
Pup eruption.
I think 2 is enough. Give me.
Here,
All right.
All right.
There we go. Look at that.
Here we have Stan the man, Stanley, the only boy. And Stanley sold already, right? Yeah. All right, Stanley's gone. He's taken. We have over here, baby, I forgot this one's name. Penelope. Look how pretty Penelope is. Come here, baby. It's my daughter, Zoe. Here we have, which one's this one?